Alrighty, so morning everyone. We are out today and it is cold, wet and windy. Water is about 16.5 degrees, but what we got is the new Irukanji prawns. So these come in a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inch size. We have the 4-inch rigged up today. I do have the 5s down there, but I don't think I'll be throwing them. I think they're a little bit too big for this area. But yeah, pretty excited to test it out. They look absolutely amazing in the store. So really what I want to do is just put it through its paces today, see what we can catch, see what we can drum up, and then sort of see how it sits in comparison to the other prawn lures on the market. These are about $18 each. Sorry, $18 for 2, so $18 for a packet, which is fairly expensive in the scheme of things, but they're a TPE material, they're super stretchy. And I just want to see like how they go, where they sit in comparison to, there's like probably 8 or 10 other options you could be throwing. But they're the new kids on the block. They've only been out for I think 3 days. This will be the 3rd day, maybe the 4th day they've been out on the shelves. They didn't have the massive market behind them, but like a campaign or anything. But yeah, real excited to try it. So let's put the big camera down, we'll grab the GoPros and we'll go do a bit of snag bashing and let's see what we can get. All right, so there he is. 4 inches, got a segmented tail, super stretchy. We've just got him rigged on a 5.0 3/8 Weedless. We'll throw some scent on him just to see if we can entice a bite, but I really want to see the durability, the action, and just how it goes and if it can catch fish. Because they look great, like absolutely amazing, heaps of action. But yeah, those are the main things I'm really interested in, because if they only last 1 fish, $9 per fish plus the hook, it's a lot of money. So let's scent him up. We're going to fish along here. We've got a heap of snags and laydowns. Just going to chuck it in nice and tight, fish the edges, try and get some bites, see if what we can convert. So we're just going to start off with a bit of Procure in this one. We do have a variety of scents that we can run, but it's the first one that came into my hands. So we've got a 10 to 20 pound rod this one is. So heavier setup. That's all right. We got a fair bit of current today. We've got very noisy reel bearings, but that's okay. But yeah, our plan is just lay downs like this. We're just going to hop this prawn over, see if we can entice anything out, see if we can get a nib. What we should actually be checking before we start casting, a bit late now, is how it looks on the sink. So it's got a fair bit of action to it, mainly just through the segmented tail and all these little appendages. So all those tiny little legs are moving, and that tail seems to really kick in on the sink. Really seems to lift up and snap back. So first look, that's not too bad. Like I said, they come in a 4-inch, a 5-inch, a 6-inch, I think a 7 and an 8, but we're only testing the 4 today. I have bought the 5s. They are quite big in comparison to the Xeric and the Akoda. Oh God, I think everyone does the sort of the standard 5-inch, 125, 127 mil prawn, pre-rigged with like the big 5.60s. So it's very, very much on par. So at the moment, the 100 mil market, or I guess I'd say 90 to 100 mil market, is dominated by a lot of different lures. The 5-inch, not so much. And then as you step up to like 6, 7, 8, there's not really many prawn options for you to throw. Not too interested in the bigger ones, just for the style of fishing I do. That's why I opted for the 100. I was actually only going to get the 125 until I seen the size comparison, which I'll show you guys later, where I actually thought it's probably too big for most of the fishing I do. I think when I go up north, I'll be throwing the bigger ones, just because you got more chance of running into barra and bigger fish like that. But for down here, I think that 100 mil is very much spot on. Oh God, there we go. I think the 100 mil is very much spot on, just for the style of fishing I do down here, the sort of snag bashing. These creeks and estuaries that get heavily pressured, just the smaller options are generally a safer option. You just cover the variety of fish a lot better. Like the big ones work, the big ones are great, just in general terms of prawn lures, but I think that when you're down here, you kind of have to sort of downsize to get more bites. and just convert as well, because these fish are heavily pressured. Whereas up north, you can kind of get away with those bigger lures, because also they do get the bigger species up there. Just with your barra and your threadies being a lot more common. But the technique's very similar to most techniques we use. So we want to just be punching it in there, give it a couple of rips, let it sink. Just watching that line for any ticks, any bounces, just anything really. And because we've had a fair bit of rain, looks like the water level's actually up at the moment. We had, I think we had 20 mil last night, maybe 30 or 40 over the last few days. So the prawn lure is probably a good option for right now, just with all this rain getting around. Water temp is down. Like I said, we're at about 16.4 it's saying, which is very cold. Generally struggle when it gets below that sort of 20 range, but I just really wanted to test this lure out, so I thought we'll go out and we'll just hope for the best. Don't know if the jacks will be on with it being so cold. We got a big southerly rolling through. Like I said, we got a fair bit of rain, which is a good sort of trigger for them, but it's mostly probably just going to be picking up flathead, cod, and hopefully some trevally. One thing I'm noticing is even with the 3/8 weight, this is quite slow to sink. So I don't really think you'd be running less than that, because there's about 6 to 10 foot up there. So that about 2 to 3 meter range is what you'd be looking at. So it's not overly deep, but it is quite slow to sink. But that's also got to do with when you run weedless, the lure sinks flat. So that'll often give it a very slow sink rate. Versus if you use a jig head, it'll fall more straight. There's him just sitting there watching that lure hit the water. Oh my, is that a fish? Yeah, that's a fish. What do we have? Feels like a little flathead. Oh, first fish on the board. And we've only been going for a little bit. There we go. First fish, we got a little tiny flathead. Just took it up in those shallows. He is small, but that's all right. He is a dusky. You can sort of see the way that hook has just pinned back on him, which is a good start, but yeah, he's a very healthy looking fish, which is pretty cool. That is a good start, I reckon. He's small, he's like a 35 centimeter fish, maybe if we're lucky, but that's okay. It's all about just seeing what it catches. So get rid of him, send him back. You can see the way that sort of segmented body just sort of slaps down, especially for those hooks to pop up. Overall it looks pretty good. I don't see much damage to the lure, so that's a good start, because durability is something I want to see how it goes. But that is a very good start, considering we just started there. I mean, it's only a small fish, but it is a fish. So in terms of casting, we're just trying to target any and every little bit of structure that we can see with our eyes or with side scan. It's just all these little sticks, these spindles, they'll all hold fish. The fish will just sit in there, because any bait that sort of moves along here, it's got to move in and out of all those trees. So it's just a perfect little ambush spot for any predatory fish. We just got to sort of figure out where the fish are associating, because they could just be on rock bars, like more feeding on the rock bars today. Most of the bait I have seen has been out in the middle. I've only seen a little bit of bait along the edges, so we may end up having better luck when we go fish a rock bar later on. Oh. Oh, we had a jack then. I just didn't even realise as that came over the log we had a little jack. There you go, that would have been the first jack on it. I seen him when he turned side on. He was sitting shallow. So we just crossed over. We fished sort of everywhere on that side. I was up for fishing, or wanted to fish. I thought we might come over here and try this side for a bit. There's a bird working some bait over here, so we at least know there's plenty of bait. The tide's about to turn and run in. So when it runs in, we're probably going to go fish the other end where all this water comes in and see if we can pick up some flathead or trevally through there. What on earth is that? I think that's a fish. It's a big one too. Yeah, there you go. Bull shark picked him off. Poor fella. Assuming a bull shark got the tail end of him. Big whiting too. What's that eagle gone? There he is, he's over there. He might be keen to come and put him out of his misery. Listen, that's a big whiting. Very big. Whoa, there he goes. He's looking, he's thinking about it. How'd he miss? How did he miss? Must be giving him like performance anxiety or something. Oh, mate. How can you keep missing it? He doesn't get it. The shark will, no doubt. Must have only just happened too, because that thing was still swimming around and kicking. Bit of stuff just out here. Well, there we go. Next fish. Oh, another flathead. God, he's going nuts. I didn't even realize I was hooked. I actually thought I had a tree then, so that's sick. Another fish. So lure's working today. That's our second flathead. Second fish landed. He's a bit healthier. He'd go that low 40s. That's why my boat ended up stinking like frickin' fish. There you go, guys. Nice low 40s flathead. So he just smashed that as we were hopping it through those trees. Second fish out of the trees now, second flatty. Just let him go. Water's still very dirty, but yeah, we're just going to persist with this. The run-ins are just kicking in. Hopefully we can get a few more fish, but so far the prawn's working good. What do we have here? It's got weight. Surely it's a big old cod. Oh no, we've done it. We have done it. We've got our jack. We have done it. I'm so stoked with that. Like I said, this lure has been out for I think 3 days. We've just ticked it off. All right guys, there you go. So we managed to get it done. It's actually in good nick. Like, it hasn't caused too much damage. Very, very minor cosmetic. It's still holding together very well. And I'm stoked with that. So we've managed to get 2 flathead. We missed that baby jack. Missed probably what I expect to be a cod, and now we've got that nice little jack. He's little, he's 39-ish, so we'll get a tag in him in a little bit. He just came on the back of this big tree falling down here, and I was just hopping it off the tree and sort of just out into the middle. He was just sitting there and jumped straight on. So what we'll do is we'll keep fishing. We'll get back into it for a bit. We'll wait for this rain to pass. As it sets in again. We'll wait for this rain to pass, and then we'll get out the big camera. I'll show it to you. I'll run through the lure. We'll talk about what I like, what I don't really like, but that was a big tick for me, is getting that first jack on the board on the lure, because once you've done that, you just get that confidence about you. So let's put this away. The phone's getting wet, everything's getting wet. We'll chuck the camera back on the rear, we'll throw the head one on, we'll keep fishing. Guys, we're going to call it there because there's more rain on the way. I just checked the radar. It is absolutely atrocious. So let's get out the fish, let's show you it. We'll get out the lure, run you through everything, let you know my thoughts on it, the application, and pretty much what I think about it. So let's grab the guy out. Alrighty, these go. So beautiful, healthy fish. Very, very gorgeous. We've just tagged him, got him sitting in the live well for now. I'll let him go in a little bit, but let's run you through the gear. So, as we went through this morning, man of the moment, the Irukanji Megaprawn. So that colour is called Reaper. So we'll go through what I like and what I don't like about it. What I like, catches fish. Actually works very well, and it's still in good condition overall. Like, it's copped a little bit of a beating, but there's nothing to really complain about. The thing I don't like, actually I'll explain this before I explain why I don't like it. So see, you got this lovely slot. Now that's where you would run weedless, which is great because they're designed for weedless. The difficult part is where the slot's located. I can get a 5.0 in there with probably 5 mil of meat. If I go for a 6.0, it goes right into this joint, and it's just going to degrade it and not work too well. So you kind of have to run a 4 or 5.0 on the 4-inch prawn. Now, I had a bit of a laugh because last night I was on Angler's Warehouse and they recommend a 3.0. There is no way you could put a 3.0 in this, so I don't know where they've got that from. But I really like the color, I like the action. It's got this really slow sink, and as it sinks, the tail just sort of goes up from all these little appendages. So it'll just sink down, then you sort of snap it up. So it's very sort of standard for a prawn lure. I noticed throughout the day, as I was running it, this front part kept sliding down, and it would come back like this. So it's TPE and it's super stretchy. It's kind of hard to get that right because it keeps sliding down, and then you've got to bring it up again. So that part's not too ideal, but you know what, you can kind of live with it. But I'll show you the packaging, and I'll show you the bigger version that I bought that I don't see me throwing unless I go up north. So that's the packaging for it. So that's the Reaper color. So quite like that one, rated it quite highly. The next one up is the 5-inch. Now, to sort of give you a side-by-side comparison, the 5-inch is quite big, to the point I probably need an 8.0. A 6.0 is just a little bit too short because there's so much meat at the front of it. So for me, I'd have to run an 8.0, which is not really ideal for the style of fishing I do. So I definitely reckon the 4-inch is the goer, especially for down here fishing creeks like these pressured systems. As you've seen, we caught flathead, we caught jacks. Missed a few fish, got a few good hits, and it was all on that incoming tide. So once that water slowed down and things started to just produce a bit better, it just all started to come together. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. And would I buy it again? Yes, but the $18 for two. So it's a bit of a tricky one. So if you're spending $18 on two of these lures, you then need to go out and get a set of hooks. So that is a 5.0 Weedless and 3.8. Sinks slow, so heavy current up to a 1/2 ounce. But now that means you've got to invest more money into it. The competitor is the Xeric, which is like that style, that come pre-rigged and everything. They're about $12. You can generally get like 3 for 20. So those are the people they're targeting. I think the build quality is better in the Megaprawn. I think the action is better, but it's just, I don't know about the durability yet. We didn't catch enough fish to really see how it would go. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I definitely recommend buying it. And as you've seen, we caught a jack in atrocious weather. We had a 20-knot southerly, which is still kicking in now. We've had ridiculous rain, and we've had the Coast Guard go do hot laps past us and wash all the banks out, which is always good fun. But yeah, let's let this guy go. I'm gonna head back to the ramp and start heading home. I've accomplished what I wanted to today. So if you like this, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, consider subscribing. I'm looking to do a bit more of this content soon, which is more sort of review based stuff, because I do enjoy testing new lures, watching them swim and figuring everything out. So this is something I really enjoy doing. But yeah, I'll let that fish go. We'll head back to the ramp and catch you in the next one.